Good morning, everyone. Hi, this is Vicki Adrian. I'm coming to you live this morning from our farm outside of Buhler, Kansas. And we are continuing our series. We're on day 2 of our series on list building. Good morning, Carol. I see you there. And it's always good to see you here in the morning. I'm a little bit early today, and so we're headed to the state fair again. And so got to get out the door this morning. If you've never joined us before, just want to welcome you and say, this is not a podcast. This is a Periscope for retailers and entrepreneurs who are working hard to take their business to the next level. And we are located in a small town out in Buhler, Kansas, right in the middle of Kansas. And we've been in business for 32 years. We have built an incredible following of customers that drive from about an hour away, to come and see us. And so, always glad to have you on board here. If you would give us a few hearts today, that just kind of keeps me going, and I appreciate knowing that what I'm talking about is relevant to those of you that are listening. I never want to waste a single minute. Thank you for the hearts there. We are going to get going right away. Like I said, I'm on my way to the Kansas State Fair, and we need to get out the door here. Yesterday we talked about the first commandment of list building, and that is, thou shalt provide stellar customer service every single time. And we talked about every time that front door opens to your business, someone is arriving to have their Disneyland experience. And I talked about Lee Cockrell's books on building customer service. You can check out our Facebook page. I listed them there last night so you would have them. But he worked for Disney. He was the executive vice president of operations for over 40,000 staff members. And so he has a really, really good background with working with people and getting them to be at the Disney level. And when someone walks into our store or our place of business, they are there for their Disneyland experience, whether you are a salon owner, a restaurant, a retail store, a service business. We expect customer service from anyone that we're doing business with. Without that number one commandment, people were wondering yesterday, why is she talking about the experience? I thought we were here to learn about list building. Well, without that one key thing of providing a great experience every time a customer walks into your door, you're not going to have people coming back. There's no reason to build a list. And so that's just it in a nutshell. I am so adamant about collecting email addresses because without that, you cannot build a relationship with those clients. It would be like going on a first date and never asking for the girl's phone number or finding out where she lives or anything like that. You don't have a chance to build a relationship with them if you don't get their information. And this is why it is essential for you to ask for their information. Now, not everyone will give it to you, but most of them will. Michael Hyatt, who's the former CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishing, has this quote. He says, "I've literally built a multi-million-dollar business on the strength of my email list. 90% of my income comes from it." And that's from Michael Hyatt. And his story is that when he left Thomas Nelson to go into business for himself, he realized he'd been blogging, he'd been doing all this behind-the-scenes work, but he hadn't built an email list. So he started with zero. And I think the last time I looked, he had something like 380,000 people on his email list. It's some crazy number. And so, but just remember, everyone starts with one. So if you're starting this morning without a list, don't give up hope. You can definitely build your list. Let's keep going here. Sorry, I lost my place. It's live here. It drives me crazy to go into a business and spend a significant amount of money and get to the checkout area and realize they don't ask for my information. How in the world can they thank me for coming and doing business with them? You can't do it. You've got to have their information. They have no way to invite me back for another visit. I mean, I have gone to a salon or a spa area and think, oh, they need my information, and they didn't ask for anything, a telephone number, an email address, a real physical address. And I think how disappointing, and how those business owners are losing out. I mean, if you're in the plumbing business or electrician or any of those service businesses, you need to have that information so that you can build a relationship with them. I think of things like chiropractic, or just any business on the planet. You need to know your customers and be able to invite them back. How do we collect this at our store? People ask all the time. They say, how do you get your staff to do that? Well, here's the news. I require it. It's not an option at our store. Years ago, I took a Bob Negan course. He talked about non-negotiable standards. This is a non-negotiable standard for us. If you are running our cash register or anywhere in our business, you have got to be not only able but comfortable and willing to ask for that information. Now, not everyone's going to give it to you, and it's we tell our girls at our store, it's not your job to. It's not the customer's job to give you that information, but it is your job to ask with an attitude of expectation that they want to give it to you. After all, we provide great things for our clients. Once they give us their address and their email information, they are on our VIP list. They get all kinds of things that people walking in the door the first time don't get. They get access to all of our specials, all of our special events, all of those things that make it fun to come back and do business with us again. And so we have to train our people. When we have new people on staff, we talk about this even in the interview process, that they've got to be able to communicate with people. And they know going in that this is a requirement of their job at our store. We let our staff know on a regular basis, I mean, several times a week. Our number one priority in this business is building long-term relationships with our clients. We are not about the transaction. We want them to come back time and time and time and time again. And so the importance of that, I mean, we're not Walmart. We're not looking for that person that just comes back and buys milk every week. We are looking for long-term relationships with our clients. And it's important for us to get to know them, and it's important for them to get to know us. And so that is commandment number 2. And the 3 parts of this have been that we train for it. We ask with expectation that they're going to want to be on our email list or want to be on our list. One thing it allows us to do is send thank you cards to those people that are spending, in our case, $50 or more in the store. Number 2 is that we have people, if we have a line at the store and we have someone at the register that kind of doesn't want to give their email address, we'll actually have ladies in the lines telling them, oh my goodness, yes, you want to give them. You'll get all kinds of good stuff. We need to train our staff members to be willing to communicate the value of being on our list. And number 3, and we'll talk about it here in the next few days, is once you do have them on the list, you need to make sure that they feel like a VIP all the time, that you're reaching out, connecting with them, giving them great value, great service. And so I think that's all I've got for you today. I just want to thank you again for joining me. You can catch us over on our blog at remarkableretailer.com. You can always go to Facebook. We'll post this video there later. And thank you again for joining me today. We'll see you again soon.